Hello, everyone. My name is Notepad Anon, and I write games for fun. So, what are we doing today? Well, today we're going to be working on more Satan Wore Snakeskin. We're going to be working on this a little bit more. A little bit late today. There's a reason for that. There's two reasons, actually. First reason, I want to take a little. I want to take it a little bit slow today. I wanted to be a little bit vibe, a little bit chill. That didn't work. That didn't work because last night my pipes exploded or something. I don't really know what happened, but everything became backed up all at once and it was awful. So I've been trying to deal with that all day and calling my maintenance guys my apartment, and they collectively told me to fuck off. So I told them to fuck off. So tomorrow I have to pray that maybe somebody shows up early, because if it shows up at the wrong time, I'm going to tell them to collectively fuck off. Because generally I don't want to deal with that, and it's not it. I don't know why. It's stupid. That's everything is dumb. But I am feeling better. Yeah, it is in complete agony to speak, so you'll actually be able to hear my voice today. It does. I don't sound as I usually do, but that is mostly just due to, you guessed it, just not being up to snuff, not being at 200% again. But that is something we all have to deal with. But yeah, with that out of the way, um, the big thing is Saint Wore Snakeskin. I thought about it a little bit, and I changed one big aspect of it. This the idea of the character tropes. Character tropes initially, the way I wanted them to do them was that you, the players, are you're kind of writing your own. Like, here's some like requirements. Here's that. I said fuck that. I said that's kind of a fuck that. We don't need it. And I just said kind of assign it as needed because it's a character on a television show. That's kind of the point. That the writers have a lot more control over something rather than like here's some arbitrary values. Now, I'm not saying 100% yet, but one of the big ideas what I wanted to get across was that these characters aren't always fantastic, and that's kind of represented here being like protagonists and protagonists have about three tropes, while side characters have about two. Everything starts at one, reflecting characters simply having it. Increase the values up to by, actually, wait a second, I should. Did I delete the fuck me? Off book. Back. So, let me see. I have to rewrite this section because I thought I pasted it in here. I must have not have. So, let's see. It's, I don't want to word this. I had this entire thing written out. It was great. Let's see. The idea is, though, you're not really. You yourself are not defining the characters anymore. It's more of the writer's room, which is, I'm going to put it as a mechanic almost. It's kind of like a moment in play. I wouldn't really call it a mechanic, but kind of a moment in play. Instead of like, oh, well, I leveled up or something like that. It's going to be more the writers have decided to do this with the character. Kind of like representing in Breaking Bad how Jesse Pinkman became a main, kind of this long stay main character because he was actually supposed to die in the first season. Yes, Jesse Pinkman, the funny bitch man. Uh, he said he was supposed to die at the end of the first season, but he became such a popular character that he managed to stay along. So, when designing a character, decide are a main or side character. Main characters have around 3 to 4 tropes. 3 to 4 tropes, while side characters have around 2 to 3. Side characters never have quite as many like defining attributes as a main character does. But that's the point of the main character, is that they are the central force, is that they have a lot more writing and a lot more time and a lot more concept put into them. Side characters are allowed to develop a little bit more because you usually don't have to worry about things. I kind of touched on this last time. Actually, each of these tropes represent actually a major aspect of the character's personality, skills, or general demeanor. General demeanor. Let's see. Main characters are the most developed. With central themes and problems baked into their how do I want to word this? Into their character, while the side characters are allowed to be a bit out of the norm, simply existing to act as a part of the world, the series is making. It's creating. Main characters are rarely flawless. With trope ratings around averaging 2 to 5, while side characters can have 1s to 6s. So pretty much a main character can never have a 6, really, because they're supposed to be kind of flawed and they're supposed to be kind of that. A side character can have a 6. That means they are literally perfect in something. They are the exemplar of it because that's their point in the story. Their point is to be a exemplar character who's flawless in all their ways. However, it's the however. Let's see. Yeah, no, like these are completely just defined by either the GM, i.e. the producer, or the players, kind of that early one when they're kind of pitching the show, and that's going to be kind of its own important part of it. Is that with the side characters, you can be a little bit more aggressive, while the GM, I would say, like, the GM has a lot more control over the main character, while everybody else has a lot more control over their side characters. It's kind of the back and forth. So here are our two characters, our two ideas. We kept Mankin Trout and Ray White. However, our two Italian mobsters got changed to Russian mobsters to make it legally distinct. We have Mr. Orlov, a mob boss trying to get out of the business. He has Mob Boss 5, Heart of Gold 4, and actually I should say Ferociously Slavic 4. The problem is, again, he has a competing, character drama. He's got a little bit of, he's a mob boss, but he also is a very nice person. So these contest with one another sometimes, and sometimes it ends up poorly for him. While little Dima here is a literal jackass of a human being, and he's actually unhinged because he's a professional knife man. He stabs people for a living. What's his character like? Guess what? It's going to be a person who stabs people to death. So yeah, that's the major change that occurred. So what's actually, where are we? Let's just take a second to kind of determine where the hell are we. So I want to do insert I want to do table of contents. Why are you all like this? I guess that is correct. Looks a little bit weird though. So, I think that is casting call. That does remind me what I need to do is go here. I think I had a note about this in Henshin. I just want to make sure that I'm doing this correctly. Because it's going to be me who's going to make this like critical mistake and forget about something and then look like a dumbass. Look like a silly Billy. Silly Billy. Okay, so now we have to go over how the show works. Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're going over the show works. Then after that, we can do the corporate producer. Cool, yeah. All right. So what we need to do is, I'll need to put two characters like this, probably the Sopraznovs characters down here for these two. I know who I want to put in. So what we need to do now is we need to determine the, this is going to be kind of like, you could say the show section. Actually, show running. There we go. When the actors have been cast. Let's see. When the actors have been cast and the characters written. It's now time to get things ready and start production. Let's see. Okay. The show is broken down. Actually, the show is how do I want to word this? Okay. The show is broken down. Let me type this out. The show is broken down into multiple scene, actually, how do fuck? You know, the entire show is broken down into, it'd be four phases, into four main phases. Pre-shoot is it actually is the pre-show. It would now be pre-show. Actually, budgeting, shooting. Let's see, pre-show, budgeting, shooting, and writer's room. Pre-show is the basic understand. Is the time for the actors to go about their day and influence those in favor or against the show in question. One could call this, quote, free play, as the actors themselves attempt to hype up the show. Or go on talk shows about it. This is agony to some, and the best part for others. So, budgeting. Budgeting has the showrunners. As showrunners, players allocate their current budget to a set of allocate their current budget for extra crew. For extra crew, new props. Let's see, extra crew, new props. Let's see, current budget for extra crew, new props, special effects or new sets. Each of these conferring special bonuses for that episode's filming. Shooting has the episode play out with the actors playing their characters as they go through the episode trying to solve the problem as I try to solve the problem of the how do I want to word this? Shooting has the episode play out with the actors playing their characters as they go through the episode's plot. Keeping track of the ratings per scene. Finally, the writer's room as the showrunners edit and actually make small changes to the characters based off as showrunners make small changes to the characters from corporate or actor influence, or as well as get the general idea for the next episode. Hammered out. So pretty much, you're going to be handing the GM a free method to make the next session. That's effectively what it's going to be. What does that actually mean in actual play context? It's yeah, we're gonna pretty much hand you what we want to kind of see happen, and that's how you're gonna do it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Not exactly, vastly exciting, however. So let's see, episodes filming. Once each phase is complete, the episode is officially over. And the next can begin. So, what we're going to do is we're going to break this section down into these sections. This is effectively how we're going to do it. So, pre-show. Not that at all. We want to do pre-show. The pre-show has the... Actually, I should put that here. The pre-show allows the actors to interact with the world and their co-stars in an attempt to influence the episode coming up, or the show in general. Nothing makes a splash like going on a talk show about the show you're on, a show you are on with fans, or having a sit down with the producers about the stupid decisions they've been making. Some actors will always have more sway than others. Some actors will always have more sway than others, and it's important to understand who the actor is, as well as how they operate. Should the actor ever be put into a situation where they require a check, they are assumed to have a value of 2 for whatever they're attempting. Whatever they are attempting, rolling their actor talents as they would if they were a character. I should say within reason. So, if you want to go on a show and you want to try to convince it, like for example, this would be my one. Let's say you go to a bunch of people, you're asking for money. You're effectively asking for, like, you yourself are going there, maybe with like 2 or 3 other people as kind of like a request to the upper management to, like, give us a couple more dollars so we can make the show, we can do a big episode. We want to do a Christmas special. And everyone's like, I don't know. So you go there, you might roll your drama to kind of appeal to them. You might roll your comedy to kind of crack some jokes and you kind of lighten the mood up a little bit because you want everyone to be happy. It's, action because you're a man of action. It's shit like that. They assume to have value too. Okay. The actor can influence the episode. The episode before it even begins. Whether starting with high ratings, having more budget to spend freely, some free set item, some free prop items, or even having a full set rented out for the day. It's a time for action. But unfortunately, it's you. This is free time. Actually, no. Actually, this is the time for creative thinking. Creative thinking and a different kind of action. Technically, you should be heading to Literally, that's going to be it for the pre-show. The pre-show is literally your method, your time as a player and both of the GM to set things up to how you want them to play out. Not really much else. I don't really want it to be much else, but I had this idea because I want to say, because what I noticed actually, this is kind of like my his internal thoughts with Notepad, is that a lot of people are going to want to just play the act. Obviously, you're going to play the show and all that. So I need to have a way for you to play the actors, make that a little bit more interesting, like just to kind of amp that up a little bit. Hmm. What the hell? Why do people send me weird shit on the internet? Why? Riddle me that, and you'll win $1 million. Let's see. Budgeting. All right. So budgeting. Now this is where things get hairy. That starting budget. That starting budget is the amount of money the show can spend on various aspects. Let's see. The amount of money the show can spend on various aspects. The show can spend on various aspects of itself to increase the production value, increase the production's values, and make sure it goes viral, and make sure it goes big. Actually, I should. Let's take a look. Sorry, show's budget is ranked from. I'm gonna bump that up to 7 to 9. Still not healthy, but should ever fall below 1 budget. Yeah, it's pretty much. Let's see. Yeah, you can very easily lose a lot of your budget if you don't make everything back. Let's see, to increase the production values and make sure it goes big. On the other hand, if the show doesn't deliver, it may not receive its budget back, resulting in a lower budget for next time, for the next episode, or a permanent closure on the contract. All right. There are, of course, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. There are five things the budget can be spent on. Because the idea is that the budget's already been spent on you guys for, actual, like, acting and all that stuff. You already have that. Don't worry about it. So there are 5 things the budget can be spent. 5 things. Extra crew. New props. Special effects. New sets. Or stuff. Just stuff. So, extra crew. These are the barely paid non-union guys. Non-union guys who are non-union temps. that are hired by the dozen, by the studio, and shuffle around various projects. These guys serve a few functions. From professional. Let's see. These guys serve a few functions from professional coffee grabbers to actual decent cameramen. The main benefit they give, actually should say is one budget. The main benefit they give is a +1 crew die to the episode's pool, allowing the actors to draw upon their power. Allowing the actors to draw upon the crew's influence a bit more. So pretty much you can spend budget to get more of these little funny money dice, which are important for people who are very bad at their job and need to do something else. For example here, Ray White has 0 in romance. He has 0. He physically cannot roll any dice for romance. And if it comes down to the point where he needs to actually converse with a woman to convince them to do something, which it might make sense for him to do, he's going to need to draw upon crew dice and crew dice alone. He's going to have to take them all and roll them just to gain the success. And it's the idea that the crew is kind of backing him up, they're feeding him lines, they're kind of coaching him through things. He is supplementing his own skill with the crew, which is good. Like, that's kind of how you do it. Well, it's not good, but bear with me here. Let's see, new props. 1, 2, 3 budget. Props are an important part of every show's production. Not every facet of the show needs a special prop. However, when they do become useful, not every object is a prop. Some are simply there to bring life to the set. However, the items that are props serve a few purposes. As well as being able to augment roles or change them in general. A prop is an important object. Something which changes the episode or character in some way. The larger the prop, the more expensive. Having a safety, actually, what would be what's the correct term for them? It's a good prop gun. There we go. There we are. This is not a real gun, by the way. Now, for example, having a fully functional snub nose, would be snub nose or snub nose. Fully functional snub nose revolver prop gun would probably cost only one budget. However, having a what would be what's a fancy car? What's a fancy car brand? Actually, no. What's a fancy Russian car brand? We'll have a fully working Lotta. Let's see, Ladybug. Let's see, Yellow Lotta. I mean, fully working Yellow Lotta. With accurate 73 markings. Would probably cost 3. Props will not go away. Props will remain in use. Remain in use. Actually, certain props. Actually, all purchased props. All purchased props will remain in the show's hands. Actually, in the show's hands for as long as they can. Block. Tomorrow is going to be hell, by the way. I hope you all know that. But I'm ready. It's going to be great. Let's see. All purchase props will remain in the show's hands as long as they can. As long as they wish. Or be sold back at half value. Yeah, pretty much you're going to lose a lot of value. You can sell them back for like nothing, but it's like they're not going to be worth anything. And the idea of selling them back is you're giving them to the studio. Instead of being this, you're giving it to the studio. Now, mind you, this is also where some of that free play comes in at the beginning, where we can spend 3 budget to get a nice car, or we can try to convince, the fucking boom guy Mike to let us drive his car. Because if we can let him drive his car, just for this one scene, we'll buy him gas. It'll be $30. Yeah, it'll be great. We can just drive his car everywhere. If we fuck up something and we dent his car, that ain't gonna look good. And trust me, the producer's gonna be pissed when he has to pay someone's car insurance. However, that guy's got a really nice, car, and we don't. Special effects. Special effects. X budget. X budget because you can spend as much as you want on it. Special effects. Actually, how do I want to do this? Star. Oh, wait a second. Toku scenes, human scene. Where's the special effects budget? Ooh, big finish. Dun 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 dun. Actually, where's the library? The library collection. Let me change something in Henshin Hero. I should fix this one, make it a little bit better to read, because this one kind of sucks reading. Let's see, spark packs and spandex. Star power. Oh yeah, there's Shadow Bearcat. Yeah, do you like Shadow Bearcat, everybody? He's great. I spent a lot of time making Shadow Bearcat. So I don't have that. How do I want to do special effects? I thought I had something written already for special effects. I don't think I did. Fuck. So let's see. So let's think about it for a second. Actually, no. I know. Special effects. Special effects can be applied to scene. Actually, no. We want to do one budget to purchase special effects. Special effects can be applied to any scene to do one of two things. Have the rating loss. That should be have the loss of ratings, or increase the gained ratings. Ratings by the actor's current star power. Special effects can be triggered at any time, allowing for save your moments, or to bring up a massive success, or bring up a small success. The other major bonus is that if at the end of the episode there is still special effects budget, special effects, let's see. Hey, I got a vague memory of a game similar to the idea of being an actor in a movie. There's been a few. There's been a few games with that kind of like vague pitch of like you're an actor in a movie, and there's a few which are like, oh, you're an actor in a television show. I think it's kind of like one of those like immediate ideas people have an idea of like, oh yeah, this makes complete sense of like why someone would want to do that. I know there's a few. I can't name them all off the top of my head, but there's a few telenovela ones. There are a few which are based off of television shows and are like heavily inspired by them. I think there is one that is quite literally just like you're playing on a television. Like there's I can see it. I can see it. It's right there. I can see it. Primetime Adventures. That was one. That it? I'm not losing my fucking mind, am I? Yeah, Primetime Adventures. There we go. This was literally about, you know, this one's a little bit different, and why I wanted to use things a little bit weirder because this was very like Buffy's Vampire Style, Gilmore Girls, Firefly. Like this one was supposed to be a lot more goofy. Like it was, that was kind of the joke for it. It wasn't really like I wanted to do its own kind of thing, but I actually should look at this because I remember Primetime Adventures being weird. There was another one. Notability guidelines for products and services. What do you fucking mean? It's Primetime Adventures. Matt, what's you been? What has Matt Wilson been doing? Oh my god, is this gonna be this is the PDF? I'm gonna laugh my ass off if this is a PDF. Uh, Luckily, no. It's only the second edition PDF. Yep, here it is, everybody. I just have it right now. Oh, I can only access some features. Content copying, editing file content. Oh. Oh no. I mean, I guess I'll save this, I guess. Cool, I have Primetime Adventures 2nd edition now. Live on stream. Go me. Let's see. That's where I know him from. He founded Privateer Press. He was one of the guys who did this one. Yeah, and Privateer Press got weird. They got really weird. I've never, like, Privateer. Here's the thing with Privateer Press. They're an interesting company. They're a company that I actually genuinely think they're a good one. Oh, that was one of the GNS ones. No, uh, it was. I think it was back. Like it was right in that day of the GNS era. What am I? What am I thinking of? What am I thinking of? What am I thinking of? It's I have it. Where's the other one where you're literally playing like a television show? It's in General Systems. I can see it. Drama System has a lot of that. Like that's a big thing of Drama System. Like just don't think about that. Cartoon Action Hour, that was it. That was the other one I was thinking of. That one is literally you're playing a television show, except it's like Conan the not Conan, except it's like Thundar the Barbarian and like Transformers and shit. I love Cartoon Action Hour. I adore that game. It's so cheesy. Yeah, no, Primetime Adventures came out in 2004. Fuck me. It's almost 20 years old. See, that's the tragic thing we have to remember now, is that anything in 2002 is officially 20 years old now. And that means it's going to be, you know, just Thanos snapped into dust soon. Because that's what happens to thing on the internet that turned 20. Don't mind this. Okay, let's see. At the end of the episode, if there 20, yeah, pretty much. Like, think about it. Think about it. What do you know from the internet in 2000? With a 10 tiers, you're already dead on the internet. Man, there's some people who've been going for 10 plus years. I still don't fucking know how. That still boggles my mind. They're still around every now and again. Like, here's the thing. Anyone remember Jesse Cox? Remember him? The big redhead guy who played with Total Biscuit? Yeah, no, he's still around. He's still making stuff. I'm like, wow, Jesse, you look the exact fucking same. Oh god. Oh god. Like, I used to watch all of those guys way back in the day, and I still occasionally check in. I'm like, oh wow, I wonder what they're doing. I'm like, wow. Holy shit. Like, I got old. Yeah, and even I watched a little bit of the Jingle Jam this last couple weeks ago with the Yogs cast, and they were talking about TB. Actually, that was kind of sad in its own way. It's one of those things, like, it's weird to think about. Like, yeah, no, Total Biscuit's been dead for a while. Like, oh yeah, that's a thing. Spoonie will never make anything new. Spoonie's still fucking dead. But c'est la vie. Such is life. Let's see, the other major bonus is that if the show manages to not use its special effects, they may be applied in post-production. Applied in post-production. Let's see, what would be the best way? Increasing ratings, increasing the overall ratings by +2. Quite literally, is that if you manage to keep it at the very end, because all that happens is that it's like by the end you average it out, and that's what your ratings is. So if you have like a really strong opening and then by the end you have nobody fucking watching you, you're gonna have really shitty ratings. However, if you pre-production it, the idea being is, if you do post-production, the idea being is that people are going to like naturally stick around a little bit longer than they would simply because you have some cool special effects. And so that might boost your overall ratings up a little bit. It's kind of boosting the average up rather than like, here's some like minor additions or like some vague saves. Ow. But it's also a gamble. Like, it actually, special effects is kind of a gamble. Let me see what the final one is. New sets. New sets. It is going to be 1, 2, 3 budget. 1, 2, 3 budget. Similar to props. Similar to props. A new set is a new location. It's a new location to shoot the show. It is a new location for the show to shoot. Actually, what I should do. Or 246. There we go. Similar to props, new set is a new location for the show to shoot. This allows for a diversity in locations, as well as keeping things fresh. Sometimes new sets provide new opportunities. New opportunities and better directorial reception than plain boring and simple sound stages. A show can rent a location. And rent a set for an episode for the left cop for 1, 2, or 3 3 budget. You can rent a set for episode for 1, 2, or 3 budget, representing the size and specifications of the set in question. For example, I want to film my show on location in Mexico. Cool. That's probably not going to be too... I want to film in the middle of Mexico City. Oh. Yeah, that's going to be a little bit more expensive. That's going to be a little bit more complicated. Because you got to buy the permits, and then you got to buy the okay, and then we probably got to make sure we got some protection for everybody. Yeah, no, it's going to be a little bit more expensive. Ooh, can we film on a soundstage? Yeah, hell yeah, we can film on a soundstage. It's just going to take us some time to get all the set stuff set up. That's kind of the back and forth on it. Let's see. Rent a set for representing the size and specification of the set in question. That's why, again, if you ever want to know why shit tons of shows are filmed in Victoria, it's because Victoria and like things like Victoria, Toronto, and Montreal is sometimes used, not often, but like a lot of those places look like New York, Seattle, Washington. They look like a lot of other cities, and Canada has a very, very solid tax credit when it comes to filming. That's why you also see a lot of shows in, like, a lot of like really low budget horror movies film in things like Bulgaria. Because if you film in Bulgaria, you can get everything you need for a quarter of the cost, and you also don't pay taxes. It's great. Let's see. A show can rent a set for one episode, or for an episode for 1, 2, or 3 budget, representing size specifications of the set in question. The more there is to it, the more it's going to cost. However, a show can have a permanent set for the entire season. Actually, no, if we want to do it the entire season, let's just triple this and say fuck it. Like, this is going to be a lot of budget, mind you. Like, this is almost half a budget, like half your like total budget. Like, this is bankruptcy if you don't play your cards right. Let's see, a show can have a permanent set for the entire season, or 3, 6, or 9 budget. Some sets simply cannot be turned into permanent fixtures. Permanent fixtures, while others nearly demand it. Remember, if you say I have to go to another country, yeah, you're going to either use it permanently or not. Like, we're flying you out to Bulgaria. You're going to do everything in Bulgaria now. Okay. And then stuff, which I'm just going to put X budget. Stuff is the grand encompassing factor of everything else that comes out of the budget. Comes out of the budget for the show. Sometimes it may be paying. Sometimes it may be paying a load of extras. Other times it may be burning a little off the top up to get all the crew matching t-shirts. The stuff budget, the stuff part of the budget of the budget is the fun part. As well as the part that is often overlooked. Because the idea is, not only do you, the players, have access to the budget, the producers have access to the budget. And if the producers don't like where things are going, they're going to make things happen. They may say, yeah, no, you guys literally are not doing things correctly. You guys really suck at your job. So what we're going to do instead is, well, we're going to take this and we're going to forcefully buy you 5 things of special effects. And you damn well have those, those better be there at the end. Because if they aren't there at the end, guess what? Someone doesn't get their job back. Someone loses budget, even more budget than they should. We're like, hey, we bought you a few new props. You have to use, like, okay, everybody, you have to use these new props. Well, why'd you use our budget to buy them? Don't worry, the kids will love it. Wait, what do you mean? No, please. I want the game master to be kind of a dick in this game, but that's kind of where the joke comes in, is that, maybe they're not like the most kind individuals, but that's kind of the point. Like, you're not really supposed to be like these, heroic, like, yes, I'm the nicest person in the world. No, don't be nice. Don't be nice. You got a show to run, and that show isn't going to run itself. So shooting. This is where things get a little bit more complicated. Coco BGM Cafe Coco's fucking dead. People seething about Coco on VT is still hilarious to me. I always find that hysterical. Let's see. Okay, now shooting is going to be the big one. So how do I want to do this? Well, the idea is that everything is going to be broken down into a scene. And in those scenes, you're going to have characters. In those scenes, you're going to have characters as well as NICs, which are non-important characters. Now, NICs, however, the big thing is NICs, props, set, and is there anything else here, really? No, not really, just these. Let's see, NIC, props, and set are all going to be cards. So yeah, these are literally going to be like cards that you have, like, that's like a note card or something, nothing too exciting. So let's say, actually, no, that's a terrible idea. Okay, select you, go away. Okay, so let's say, for example, this is our set card. And we tie it together with our, one of our prop cards. Like, we got a gun. There's a gun involved in this set. And our 2 non-important characters that we're kind of working with right now is we have, Dude A and Dude B. Now, the idea being is that all of these are technically in their own little area. Like, they are here, they are established part of what is going on, effectively. And then the players come in, and it's all about who owns these items. who is in which possession, who is in possession of what. So let's say we have our character over here, in which I'll draw him a little bit. I'll put a little star over here to kind of symbolize this is our main character. This is our guy. As you can see, he has a beard. And he has the gun. We know he has the prop gun. These two do not have it. He has an advantage because these two don't have it. That's kind of just the basic idea. It's a very rapid way just to kind of establish who everything is right away. So I want to just use some basic card ideas. It'll also allow people to, again, you slap everything down and then everyone can kind of look around while also kind of playing their own game, because you remember there will always be these producer requests they have to do. So you might have a producer request for, Mr. Orlov has to be in the same area as little Louis with the gun and say these and pretty much threaten him for it. That is the demand. That is something you have to do. How you do it, how you go about that, completely up to you. But this has to occur. Or these two characters have to be with you for these particular reasons. Yeah, we can do that. Let's see. Okay, shooting. The shooting is actually when shooting the show. The main meat of the production of the episode. Episode is afoot. While filming and acting, the actors and their characters will be going through a series of events. That they have power over. They have power over and are allowed to influence. Whenever they... Actually, wait a second, I forgot something. Put this for special effects. Or increase the actor's current star power. Whenever they attempt an action with a chance of failure, they will make a check. If they succeed, they will make a check. An actor always has a chance. Always has the choice to deliberately fail the action without taking any penalty for it. Pretty much, if you don't risk it, you're not going to get penalized for it, because the idea is you're deliberately going out of your way to do this for the show. Instead of it like, wow, the actor here is literally just bad. He's literally just terrible at his fucking job. It's, you pull up the gun and then you aim and then you clearly, like, everyone clearly knows that he'll probably be able to hit, but he kind of twists and he misses. And it's like, oh no, wow, this character's super fast. Holy shit, oh my god. It's those dramatic moments. That's the idea. I'm stumped. I don't know what's going on. Being like, bruh, you're a super genius, but I'm flummoxed. I'm completely confused. Oh, God. Let's see. Always this choice deliberately fail an action without taking any penalty for it. Shooting the show. Each episode is broken down into individual scenes. Individual scenes which dictate the specifics, which dictate the where, when, how, and why a situation is occurring. A scene is where a set card, prop cards, as well as non-important character and nick cards are placed in the center of the table to represent the current filming space. Just the idea of like, this is who's in the scene. They may not be there, but they are there. Unless they make a deliberate exit, unless it is deliberately stated that they have exited, they'll still be there. You still assume them to be there. Represent the current filming. Let's see. Center of the table to represent the current filming space. Characters present in the scene can interact with all aspects of the scene, including all props, if they are able, including all props, nicks, and even the set, if need be. Well, let's see. Let's see. As the scene progresses, other characters can willingly enter or leave the scene. Actually, any other characters may decide to enter the scene if they are able to. They are able to by spending star power if they have not already been established in being in another location. Again, it's kind of a Schrodinger's character at some point. At the start of the episode, you do not know where every character is because we haven't established what's going on. The second we establish you're in a location, you better have a damn good reason to be in another. And that's kind of the point. But again, there's scene transitions, time goes by. That's the point. That's the point of a scene sometimes. It's transition. But if you establish it as you're on this side of town, and then this other scene is on the other side of town, taking place at the same time, you can't enter it. Because you're already established in another place. You can attempt to, mind you, but if you do, ratings are going to plummet, because people will say that doesn't make any sense. Plot hole. Which I should actually introduce that. Actually, side note, plot holes. Plot holes and conveniences. Should a character desperately need to be in a location? Desperately need to be in a location at a certain time. time, or their needs. Or there needs a bit of writer's elbow grease. Plot holes can help. Plot holes are simply narrative problems, which don't make any sense. Makes sense if properly explored, if properly thought of. For example, a character established to be across town shows up right on time to a location they could not possibly reach. When this occurs, when a plot hole occurs, roll a 1d6. On a 1, no one notices. And everything is fine. Rolling any higher results in ratings lowering by that much. So if you roll a 2, someone noticed, and so the ratings of that scene are actually going to drop by 2. Because people are like, this is stupid. This doesn't make any sense. I'm leaving. Like, fuck this. Like, this is stupid. You know, it's very much like, oh no. But if it works out, like, if you roll a 1, people just accept it. Like, yes, this makes complete sense. Or don't think about it. Like, yeah, so what? Actually, it is helpful to write in narrative conveniences once in a while. In fact, an actor/character can establish. Simply stating the time makes it real. Therefore, if a character is across town, suddenly, but it's been an hour, that makes sense. Or they took a taxi, or any other variation of bullshit. Yes, am I adding in the literal fuck it mechanic? The bullshit mechanic. Yes, I am adding a bullshit mechanic, because I think it'll be funny. Let's see. As scene progresses, all other characters may decide to enter scenes as what they are able to do by spending star power they are not. Let's see, characters. Actually, let's see. Characters earn star power. Actually, characters earn. Nah, okay. Yeah, no, that's how we'll do it. Characters earn plot power by succeeding at checks. Over the requirement. By the number of successes over. Over. And then we're going to put a footnote right here, which is the idea of rolling 3 successes. Rolling 3 successes means 2 plot power. Plot power can be spent to increase a trope's value. Increase a trope's value, or invoke a... Not invoke. Let's see. Force a narrative. Actually, force a Nick to act. Or what would be another good one? What would be another good one? Actually, pull on a Nick's. Pull on a, trigger a Nick's. Aspect. Actually, yeah. No, Nick's trope. Increase the trope's value for the scene. Or use the sets, actually no. Or how do I want to use? Pretty much the idea of plot power is like your just raw ability to do things. Like, this is your ability to just do things that are important because your kind of character's on a roll. It's like your character's doing hot, so you're able to do hotter because you're a cool dude, does cool dude things, which is one of the major disadvantages of saying I want to fail a check, because you're not going to get this because you aren't succeeding. Let's see. Actually roll. I'll roll an extra d6. Literally just saying, like, my character's doing well, I get a little bit of a bonus. Okay. This is the basic of shooting. But, and I'm going to call it here just because my throat's kind of hurting, and I can. And I want to kind of go over everything that I wrote today, just to make sure everything is consistent. And my goal, the goal as of right now is I want to try to get this game done by... Because I think we're making pretty good time. Like, all things considering, I think we're making really damn good time. Because, let's see, like, what needs to be done? Like, just let's take a second and really think, like, what needs to be done. So, for shooting, we need to go over set cards. We need to go over prop cards, and we need to go over Nick cards. We need to go over what the cards do and why they operate the way they do. Okay, easy enough to understand. This is happening in the world. We already established how to roll the game. The game isn't actually that complicated. That's not the point. So, and then we have to go over scene ratings. How do the scene ratings work? Scene ratings are pretty much going to be, like, you start with a certain number of ratings. Let's say you have 40. You start with, let's say you start with 30. That means effectively 30 mystical things have tuned in, and that's pretty decent. Like, that's a pretty average show. Every scene that things don't occur in, you're going to be lowering it. Because naturally, people are just going to stop watching because they just turn off, or they just don't feel like watching anymore, or it's like they just don't, like, shit happens. So it's pretty much every scene transition, so every, basic, scene transition is going to incur about a negative 1d6 loss. However, what you need to do, how do you gain that, is that you get it by getting plot power. Pretty much, every time you gain plot power at the end of a scene, it goes away. The plot power goes away at the end of the scene, and it converts straight into scene, into pretty much keeping it. Actually, I should make... Ah! So pretty much your plot power converts directly into keeping the ratings alive. And I think 2d6 is a pretty good one. Like 2d6, that means you're going to lose about like 2 to 6. You're going to lose 2 to 12 people, which is actually pretty fucking bad. And plot power, you're not going to have that much plot power. Actually, what we can do is something like this, maybe. Because you're naturally going to lose some more people than gain them. Actually, no, we can do that. Plus 2d, minus 2d6 plus 2d6. With the idea being, so... It's kind of hard to judge, because if things go poorly and the show sucks, you're going to lose a lot more people, which is going to be represented by that kind of dice shifting in one direction or the other. So, for example, we've lost 4 viewers. However, we gained 9 viewers. So we came up with 5 viewers. This is good. Like, we're doing pretty well. Things start going poorly, and we start failing checks, and we just generally meander, and nothing actually productive happens. It might look something more like me rolling 3d6. And suddenly we lost 10 viewers, and we gained 1. We lost 9 viewers suddenly, which is bad. Which is very bad. And it's harder to get them back. That's the idea. Like, if the show is doing well, it's going to be able to maintain it. But you're always going to be losing some. The idea is to keep it balanced. Even better if you can get people to watch, kind of tune in. Because nobody wants to tune into no one wants to tune into a show halfway through. That's the idea. So, plot power converts into ratings. So, what else do we need to do? They're going to have their own tropes. We have the knit cards, prop cards. Overall, this actually worked pretty well. Star power generation, I'm going to have to do that. So we're going to have star power we need to explain. Star power is similar but different from plot power. That's the idea. Because star power is for the actor, plot power is for the character. Sometimes a character is going to be on a roll, and that's going to make the actor look better. Sometimes the actor, by virtue of playing a character, is going to make that character better. Because guess what? That actor is cool, and everyone likes that person. So they're going to get some more things. Things again like reshoots, studio pull. Like reshoots, I kind of want the joke to be with like reshoots, is that like, if you do truly feel like it is this entire scene has been a fucking disaster. Like, things have just gone poorly, no one's speaking correctly, no one's doing things. You can burn star power. You can burn your actor's own star power and say, no, we are reshooting the scene. And then the producer, the GM effectively says, oh, all right. And then you start from the beginning of the scene again. And I would say there can be like, if you want to put it, I would say put in a side note. I'm going to have to put in a side note there. Which is going to be like, you guys can like have the narrative skip of the things that did go well, and you just kind of fix up like the parts that didn't go very well, or like, and if there's a major divergence somewhere, then you continue from there, rather than just like, yeah, you guys this really fucked up, and like this is just a really bad example for everybody, and everyone hates you. I should put in some actions, some. This like strictly like action scenes. You know, what you wear is important. So this kind of goes into the prop cards and like who you are. Audience perceptions, cards. Alright. Alright, I think we're doing pretty alright. So after this, we have to go on to, it's going to be the writer's room. So the writer's room section is where we're going to have things such as, you know, this is where character advancement's going to come into, because it's literally going to be plot advancement. Then we're going to have to like do some like episode writing, which is like, let's kind of talk where we want to happen next time, because we're actors in a television show. And this is kind of like where we want our characters to go, and then, you know, the producer's like, well, let's do this, like, this is kind of like what was, like, this is kind of what the plan was, and be like, that's a good idea, we should totally do that, or like, hey, we noticed people fucking adored this character, they loved him, he was a wacky, fun character, we're bringing him back. Be like, but he was this unimportant shithole of character. I know he is, but guess who's back? We can actually probably do, like, tropes, you know, like standard Nicks, you know, ascended Nicks. An ascended Nick may become a side character. Let's see, managing the budget. Actually, we gotta do, and then we have our budget return. Pretty much how I want the budget return to work is the idea of like, if you hit X ratings, you're gonna get all the budget. You're gonna get all budget back. However, if you hit X plus rating, X plus Y ratings, all budget plus X, all budget plus Y. You're gonna get something by virtue of like, hey, you did really well this time. You're gonna get something special. Like, you're getting all your budget back. In addition, we're gonna give you a little bit more budget. However, if it's X minus Y ratings, you're going to lose budget equal to Y. So you're not gonna get all your budget back. You're only gonna get a fraction of it. Being like, yeah, you guys fucked up. This was terrible. And this is also in addition to, like, a lot of things going wrong, which you can have things deducted from your budget, such as not following the rules. Like, every time you break the rules and you don't reshoot or you don't use star power to mitigate it, you're going to have to deal with things like your budget. You might be in a part of the show where you're in the negatives for your budget currently. You're like -2 budget. You've gone over budget. The idea being like you spend more money, it's reshoots, it's redubbing to, get the little flubs away. It's shit like that. And the studio's paid for it, they're pissed. And then by the end, you might say like, okay, well, you're going to get all your budget back, but instead of having 8 budget, you have 4 now. Fuck you. And it's like, oh. Well, shit. So I think the writer's room is going to be the complicated bit. Then I can actually do the, then we'll do the producer's desk, which is going to be things like producer requests, management, and then we do like seasonal play, and then we do actor advancement. There we go. Do I need to sneeze? You ever have like a pre-sneeze? Like you can definitely feel it in your nose and you really want to sneeze, but you can't? It's great. Yeah, this is what we need to do. This looks like a lot, but a lot of these are going to be pretty simple. It's just going to be a lot of like little tiny patches, little tiny little tweaks. So I'm feeling pretty good. I'm going to say probably, and we're going to get it done next week. Are we going to get, yeah, we're going to get this done next week. Are we going to get it done on Monday? If my notepad must die, we might be able to, but I don't really want to. Probably it's going to be Wednesday. That's going to be kind of the goal, is like try to wrap things up on Wednesday to kind of like get this into like a good space, wrap it up on Wednesday, and kind of detox from there and kind of figure out what went right, what went wrong. Like overall, I'm like really enjoying this. Like this is just fun because you have to think about it from a different angle. But I think it's kind of one of those things. Like I noticed, like Henshin Hero was not not an extensive system, and taking that and like expanding it out doesn't really make it more. Like there isn't much more you can add to it. It's just the idea of like let's just take something that was simpler and add some more things to it to make it a little bit more interesting. However, my big thing here is that if this works, if this is successful, what I can do is I can SRD it. I can make the the N super the NEN super document, and effectively say like, hey, if you want to make your very own television show TRPG, this is how you do it. Here is literally this is kind of what this game is going to be. This is what the system is at its core. And and that's kind of arguably what the point was. If I were to make an SRD, what it would be is it's kind of cut a lot of the fluffy language and make it like cut the fun bits, the funny haha bits, and a little bit more of the like, here's some more of like the harder core details, and be a little bit more open with things instead of like, yeah, everything's going to be based around these like, here are what your attributes are going to roughly look like, here's what these are going to be like. Go for it. Which is one of the goals. Yeah, so that's that. Tomorrow at noon EST, I'm going to actually post that on my server of this. Noon EST, we are going to be going over the curious case of games that should be fucking memes. And I am emotionally scarred already by just reading through them all. So you better fucking thank me. You better fucking thank God. Fuck. God. TFT Tuesday will forever scar me. TFT Tuesday. There was a Team Fortress 2 Tuesday. It wasn't Team Fortress 2 Tuesdays. It wasn't. Far, far from it. Alright, I'm gonna disappear now. Godspeed, good luck, you know where to find me if you need me. I am, as they say, away!